Welcome anyone to my YouTube channel. This is Everett, aka Two Beasts to Kill You, aka the Beast with the Least. And for this video, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on Doom: The Dark Ages. But before we get into all that, if you like what I do on this channel, go ahead, give me a like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Trying to hit 500 subscribers, hopefully by the end of the month. Maybe middle of next month. We're about, what, 9 days away. Maybe I could do it by the end of this month. So if you could like, subscribe, share, like I just said, that'd be great. No pressure. But let's just go ahead and get right into it, because I have a pretty good amount of thoughts on this video game. But overall, I enjoyed it. So let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. I very much have enjoyed this new trilogy that they have of the rebooted series for the Doom games. Doom Eternal, Dark Ages. This one I would say is probably the best one. Now, with that said, I still think they're at best really, really, really good games. Maybe great, but I would not say amazing to masterpiece kind of games. I just would put them at that like 7.5 to 8, out of 10 range. I know I'm probably in the minority on this one, but I'm a little bit of a, what's the word? A little bit of a weirdo, I guess, when it comes to my shooters. I do like being able to aim down sights, maybe a little bit too much. Arena shooters can be a little bit, I wouldn't say they're too fast paced, but sometimes it's just a little bit like, okay, you could tell, well, no, not you could tell. For me, arena shooters can get a little bit just, okay, this is what it is. And I do like those types, but that's why I think I really do enjoy the Dark Ages compared, or the best out of the new Doom trilogy. Because as much as Doom 2016 was great, it was just Doom with shinier graphics. And then Doom Eternal, focused more on movement. You had like a dash and the chain to bring you forward and all this stuff. This one brings it back. There's no dashing around and all that stuff, but it is focused on parrying, actually. Yeah, they have a parry in this game. And, the shield, throwing around. It's a lot more melee focused, I would say, with the shooting, as obviously the primary focus. But yeah, so, like I said, whereas Doom and Doom Eternal ramped up the movement and the shooting and what you did, especially with the glory kills, and how those were such a big focus of those games, especially Doom Eternal, this one took out the glory kills. They have execution still when enemies are weakened and all that stuff, but it's just a quick, usually, melee attack and they're dead. No real, except for boss enemies, usually are ripping out their heart or stomping their heads. For me, actually, that was a much preferable thing. Glory kills are cool, chainsawing enemies in various ways and ripping them apart, the rip and tear of the new Doom trilogy. But after you've done maybe about 30 of those, hey, okay, now these take a little bit of time. And I kind of want to just keep moving on and playing the game. Whereas this, it's a little bit quicker with the executions, just like that. In the Dark Ages, it's just quicker, move to the next enemy. Especially, I think glory kills would not have worked in this game. There's a lot more enemies than the previous two games. And this one also is has, like, it's not open world, it's... I'm forgetting the exact term, but like, open design levels where you have various things you could, like, destroy turrets or go ahead and search around, find secrets, fight quote unquote secret bosses and stuff like that. There was a couple rooms where it's like once you go into the room, that's it. Now you have to solve a puzzle to then be able to get out of that room. But then you get a cool, a collectible or a power up. Same thing when you fight like the secret bosses. You usually get power ups, armor, more ammo, more health, things like that. But that's more on level design and everything, which I did enjoy. I will say, after a while, it did seem a little bit like it might have been padding, which probably did take away from my enjoyment of the game just a little bit, but not enough to say this is like a bad game or a mediocre game or anything like that. As for the main gameplay, though, the shooting is just... It is top tier. It is... id knows what they're doing. I mean, makes sense. They are the father or godfather, whatever you want to call them. They are the progenitors, basically, for modern day shooters. What shooters, what we know as shooters today. They weren't Doom wasn't the first. I don't even remember the name of the first quote unquote shooter, but when it comes to shooters, obviously id with Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake, they know what they're doing. Probably the only other studio that I would say is on par with them when it comes to the feel of a shooter would be Bungie. But yeah, so you have your various, the shotgun. Just the Doom shotgun is... I referenced this something at the Doom shotgun at work all the time with one of my coworkers. So it's one of those iconic weapons. It feels just as good as it does in this game than it's done in the previous two. But along with some newer weapons, like the pulverizer, which is a gun that the ammo is a skull that then gets crushed and used as, projectiles. Very cool, very cool. There's also a ball and chain gun. Very unique weaponry, which it makes sense. They make it look good, or make it work within, the setting that they've put for this game, which is a prequel to Doom 2016. But yeah, again, as I said, melee is the big focus for this game, specifically with the shield. Now, that is the other big gameplay thing with this game, and I do very much love the shield. You throw it at enemies to break shields, embed it in enemies to do damage over time. As I said, there's a parrying mechanic in this game. There's enemies we'll see, every so often you'll see green projectiles from enemies, and you press the button, the shield button, and parry it back at them. You could tell they slowed down the enemy's attacks just so you could time parrying in this game. They do have a slider to speed up everything in the game, which is also another thing that I want to point out in this game. The difficulty options is pretty good. How much damage you do, how much damage you can get done, how much you can get from ammo drops and things like that, health drops, shield drops. They want to make sure that you play this game the way you want to play it, from what they've designed. But yeah, overall, when you're playing as the Slayer, it feels great. It's the sound of the guns and everything. Just like when you jump or when you're walking, the footsteps, everything sounds heavy and just crunchy, and it's so really good. The music too. I do miss Mick Gordon. Mick Gordon in those first two games, he's very, very good. It is a step down, but I would still say like that. If you're a heavy metal guy like me, with some industrial or whatever you want to call it, or electronic music, it's very good. It's still really good, especially if you listen to the main menu theme. There's also, with this game, there's two other types of sections in the game. There's the giant mech section. There's only a few of them. They're okay. I like them. You feel powerful. You're going around. It feels heavy. It feels like you're fighting, kaijus. They're called titans, but it's one of those, like, if you've wanted to live out your Pacific Rim fantasy or something, or Power Rangers fantasy. Similar to that. Everything feels slow and heavy and just, yeah. But there's only a few of them. I think, once you've played one, you played them all, so I'm glad there was only a few. Then there's the dragon section, which, again, there's only a few sections. Those are probably my least favorite sections. Because even though you're flying around on a dragon, and these are more open-ended levels too, whereas the mech sections were more linear, the dragon sections, I get what they were trying to do, because when you're fighting on a dragon, it has turrets, and they didn't want to make it just like if you were playing like a Star Wars the X-Wing game, or a Rogue Squadron game, or whatever, or a Star Fox game, or any kind of like Ace Combat or something. It doesn't feel like that. They tried to make it more where you're stationary and you can shoot enemies. Usually it's just ships that you then have to get onto, take out, maybe its engine or whatever it is, and then get back on the dragon. But it's just this where you hold the left trigger and then shoot, move out of the way of a projectile, take out the shield, destroy the turret, stuff like that. They were a little boring, which kind of, for me, kind of sucks, because I'm a big dragon guy. A joke that me and my brother always say is, "Cool story, bro. Needs more dragons." Dragons are cool. It's still really good. Don't get me wrong, but maybe could have done with just maybe one or two sections instead of a few of them. Yeah. Again, no, I did enjoy this game. The story, they added more lore to the Doom guy, or Doom Slayer. It looks good. It sounds great. The game is overall great, and it's on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, it's a no-brainer. Game Pass is the best deal in gaming, so this just keeps adding to that. But it's a no-brainer. Even if you're buying the game, I think it's worth buying at the very least. Still worth buying. Yeah. But I think that's going to do it for my overall thoughts on the game. Again, overall, yes, I enjoy the game. If I were to score it, again, I don't really like doing these, giving scores to games. I'd probably give it an 8. This one maybe, for Doom the Dark Ages specifically, maybe an 8.5. Even the sections that I didn't like as much didn't take enough away from just the core gameplay loop of shoot, throw your shield, shoot, throw your shield, parry, all that. But alright, I'm going to go ahead and cut it right there. Again, if you like what I do on this channel, again, I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. I want to grow this channel. I like doing this, for you guys, for me. Just an idiot who likes to record videos about his gaming habits and what he thinks, and some of the gaming news. So again, like, subscribe, share, all that good shit. And until next time, I'll catch you later.